Good morning, Shadow. Good morning, Togo. Can never have too many Funyuns. I'm gonna unload one truck before we start wheat harvest. Gonna let that agitate for a little bit since it's in the morning. Want this to be running about 31, so I'm going to need to open it up some more. If you look down there, you might be able to see it. It's just barely coming above the auger. Normally that makes it about right. I'll need to open it up just a little bit more. It's very touchy. That should work. Better get a grain sample. That should be good. Then we go to the office and test it. Now we write it down. 12.2. Then we dump. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch Corn Dynasty. In today's video, we're going to be doing more wheat harvest. As you can see, the combine in the background. In fact, I'm about to unload up to go. We are running about 2.5 miles an hour, at least unloading on the go. auger is centered in the middle of the grain cart. And if you were to look at the front of the hood, you can see how that silver thing at the end is just to the right of this track. That's how I know where to be, so that the auger is lined up just right on the auger wagon. Inside the combine with my dad harvesting rye. If I would just ask him a few questions, why do we grow rye?
Well, we use rye for cover crops. Our land is highly erodible. We have a lot of hills, and so we'll plant rye on the hillsides and in the drains to try to slow the water down and prevent erosion. We'll grow 40 or 50 acres of rye every year in order to have our own seed to plant in the drains and in the hillsides the next year. So we always finish our wheat and then we go from wheat. The last thing we do in the summertime is combine the rye and plant the beans behind the wheat and the rye. We should be done in 30 minutes, maybe an hour at most, with the summer wheat and rye harvest.
What is the difference between harvesting rye and harvesting wheat?
Well, rye is a lot taller. You know, wheat's going to be waist high, and rye may be head high. Rye, there's a lot less. There's a lot fewer bushels that you'll get out of your rye crop. You might make 35, 40, 50 bushels, whereas wheat you could make, 75, 80, 100 bushels. So rye, most years your rye crop is not going to be, it's just not many bushels per acre. but there's a lot of material. You can see a lot of material going through the combine because it's so much taller. And so you have to go slower when you're harvesting. You can't shove that much material through the combine at a real rapid rate. We've gone to spraying our rye and our wheat with Palisade, and it helps the rye to stand up better. It used to, we would have a lot of rye that it would fall down, and that Palisade has really helped. This rye is standing a lot better than it has in years past. A lot of people use different types of cover crops. They'll tillage radishes. There's all kinds of different types of cover crops that people in other places will use. Sometimes they use a mix, and so they'll have 2 or 3 different things that they'll plant to try to control erosion, and then in the spring they'll kill them. We pretty much just use rye. That's our cereal rye crop is what has worked for a long time. It puts a lot of roots in the ground. There's a lot of organic matter here, and so it adds to the structure of the soil. And my dad has been growing rye as long as I can remember, 30 years, maybe 40 years, I don't know. He started doing this a little bit after they started no-tilling. They've been no-tilling a long time, pretty much my whole life.
Do you sell your wheat and rye, or do you store it in grain bins?
The rye we store on 2 old trucks that we've got, and so we don't put it in the grain bins. We'll have 1,500 bushel of rye each year, and we just leave that on the trucks. Now the wheat goes in the bins and gets sold. Sometimes we'll sell it in July. Sometimes we'll store it until the next year, January, February, March. It all depends on the price and how our corn crop looks. If our corn crop looks really, really good, there's an opportunity to sell the wheat in the summertime to make space in the grain bins for another 40 or 50,000 bushels of corn. Then we might do that. Sometimes we sell part of it. Sometimes we sell all of it. It just depends on what the crop looks like. If I hit a spot that's down like this, where it's laying down, then I'll lower the header. We've got sensors on the bottom of our header that sense the level of the ground, and they automatically raise and lower the header. Most people have that an automatic height sensing for soybeans. We've got 4 sensors that we use for wheat, and also use it for rye as well. And so this hydrostat lever right here, we have the 3 buttons, 1, 2, and 3 programmed for. Number 2 is for normal cutting, so we'll raise it up. Number 3 is for cutting crop that's lower. So if I hit crop that's lower, I'll lower it down, try to pick that crop up. And then number 1 is for raising it at the ends of the field to turn. And so as we're going across the field, we're just always looking for different crop conditions, whether we should speed up or slow down. Right there is kind of your engine power. You don't want to run it up into the red. You can choke the machine down. You've got grain loss, so it's possible to go too fast and the machine have enough power to take it, but you're losing grain out the back end, and so you're just always always trying to look and see what's up ahead and how the machine is acting, whether you should slow down or speed up, and just try to get all the grain in the tank and don't leave any in the field. Sometimes you have down the grain and you have a big slug like that, and slow down, let it go through the machine. But combining rye is kind of a slow process.
If you look over there, you can see my uncle in the planter planting soybeans. Gonna be a wrap for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment what you think about this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.